Okay, quick update. Super Bowl Sunday. I hope everybody's enjoying the game or whatever you do today. Let's start with parental leave. If you applied for parental leave for the retro component of it, mind you, and were denied, you need to let the lodge know as soon as possible so we can get a complete list together to tender to the city to see if they're supposed to, they're obligated, they're contractually bound, but it's been a struggle to say the least to follow the Parental Leave Act as agreed upon in the contract through the mediation arbitration process. But again, it's specifically for the retro component. If you applied, and if you did not apply and plan on applying for that retro provision, you need to contact the lodge so we can get it addressed and make sure that it is going to be adjudicated properly and according to the agreement. Considering the city has definitely tried to play a game, not the city so much, the finance division. Again, this goes back to the 50 hours of comp time. Finance is not coming off their basically stance that they don't have to pay it this year. They get to pay it next March. The conversation, as I said last week, the language was wonky to say the least, but we still had an understanding, and everybody at that negotiating table understood that there would be a payout this year. I could tell you the people who were sitting at that table from the city side are in agreement that that was the understanding, that there would be a payout this year. This is all about finance. This is all about the mayor looking to rob Peter to pay Paul and find out any dime he can steal to give to the migrants to fund that ridiculous policy that continues on today and has no indication of slowing down anytime soon. But there's no other reason why that provision is not getting paid out according to the agreement this year, other than they need money for migrants. That is all they care about at this point, giving them freebies, handouts, food, shelter, 3 meals a day, while regular Chicago citizens struggle. Homeless have nowhere to stay. Homeless have nothing to eat. Think about this. 3 hot meals a day and a roof over your head. What a life. What a world. Lastly, I will tell you the City Council has changed the meeting from the 16th to the 15th. So looks like Thursday is on the agenda for the arbitration vote yet again. We'll see what kind of ridiculous stunt they pull this time, but we're coming down to D-Day before we end up back in court again in front of Judge Mullen. I think the last time we were there, the city and the aldermen who still refused to do their duty and uphold their oath were sent a pretty strong signal by the judge of what they should be doing, pretty much in lockstep with what Ed Ben had said they were supposed to be doing too, and caution them against not doing. We'll see if they're stupid enough to vote it down a second time. Stay tuned. I would assume we have a pretty quick answer to that on Thursday morning. If the meeting starts at 10, I would think by noon it's going to be addressed and voted on by sometime prior to noon on Thursday. With that, everybody have a safe weekend. As the comp time option saga moves forward, we will certainly get to you with that. I will also let you know that there is language being tendered for the bikes. There isn't much kind of gray area when it comes to the stipends as far as Lemart. Lemart is Lemart. You're certified, you're certified. CIT was always the 40-hour course that gives you the Z designation in the A&A sheets. You have that, you get that stipend. The bike one, I'll just put it out there now, the language we are giving to the city, just to be very clear before we get to the end of this first period or first quarter, is anybody who was trained by the city and received a bike helmet for that training is bike certified by lodge standards. The city's position in negotiations, just to give you a historical perspective for the bike people specifically, was we were talking about the Central Control Group bike group, first of all, because they deal with the protests, the rioters, and all of that stuff. So that was our initial proposal, was to specifically have the stipend be for them and not necessarily all other trained officers or district bike patrol. It morphed into something bigger. And the city, when it morphed into bike certifications as a general kind of principle, said that the officers would have to ride the bike at least one day a week in order to qualify, or one day a period. that went by the wayside. There was no obligation to actually even ride the bike. If you are bike certified and able to be deployed on a bike, which i.e. you were trained and given a helmet by this department, and there is equipment cards for everybody who was issued a helmet. There is a spreadsheet being put together that will be tendered to the city too, in tandem with the policy and our position of, the training and the helmet kind of being the designator for who qualifies for that stipend. Stay tuned. It's been ridiculous. Then this is the mayor of labor. I mean, let's just keep reminding ourselves that he keeps trying to tell everybody that this is the party of labor. And when it comes to the police, he's not much different than the last tyrant. It's literally say one thing, do another, and everything else matters but the police. With that being said, have a good weekend.